Hi everyone, it's Kathy here from Bello's Designs, and today we're going to be recreating a card a bit like this one. And this one I call Pipin's Playtime. So we've got Pipin, our favourite little bunny, and Mrs. Wallace and Baby Wallace, hedgehogs, are in a forest on a magic toadstool. So for this particular card, for stamping, I'm going to use a Versafine Clair Nocturne, Cheerful, and Shady Lane. And for the background I'm going to use Elements Ink, Blue Atoll and Sahara. So I'm going to use a couple of blending brushes to do the backgrounds, stencil brushes from Lavinia, and the stamps we're going to be using. Now I have this little one here, if you can see it very well, and I've got it separate, but I think it came from a set, so I'm going to find the number for that and add it in the listing below. And we've also got Miniature Mushroom, which is LAV 561, Miniature Flowers, LAV 256, obviously Pipin, LAV 581, and we've got some mini leaves, LAV 512. So I'm going to be using Forest In, LAV 735, and I've also got some masking tape, and I've actually masked off the toadstool so that we can get a vibrant brightness of the toadstool in the card. So you'll need some masking tape too. So we have the Forest In, LAV 735. We have the Tree Den, LAV 642. We have the Tree Stem, LAV 643. And the Hedgehogs Wallace Family, LAV 531. And I'm using Mummy and Baby on that set. So I've got a piece of Multifarious card cut 4 inches by 6 inches, and some backing card I've chosen yellow in 4.25 inches by 6.25 inches, and then we'll mount that onto a piece of card once folded, measures 5 inches by 7 inches. So let's get started. Now you can do this, I've done this both ways. You can either stamp the toadstool first and then put the masking tape over it, or you can mask it first and stamp over it afterwards. I prefer the first version of stamping it first, because then I can see that I'm covering it proper. I prefer that way, but whatever works best for you. So I'm just inking up Forest In. Now I've just got a little bit there that I need to get rid of, so I don't want it to come on my... So I want this to be about ½ an inch up and slightly over to the left. And then press down quite firmly. There we go. So let me just give that a quick wipe. I'm letting that ink dry. Right. As that ink's dried, if I'm careful with it, I do get 3 or 4 uses out of it, so I don't have to throw it away the first time. So I need to... A bit hard to do this with the camera, to make sure that I'm covering it correctly. It needs to go up a bit. Oops. Normally I have my head right folded over the work to do this, so there we go. Now I didn't cut mine, or some of it's come off on that side, so I'll just use a white gel pen when it comes to it to do that. Talking of which, I've got 4 watercolour pens in like a skin tone, a brown tone, a yellow and a red. And I've got a red, yellow and pink Posca pen. I've got a white gel pen, a gold gel pen, a gold glittery pen, and a couple of pastel pencils for doing the grounding and the backgrounds. Right, so I'm going to start with the background now. So I'm going to be using the Sahara. Quite a bit of that off because it's quite dark, and I'm going to start in the center of my masking paper. So the darkest part will be on the actual toadstool, and then we'll get lighter as we go round. There we go. So now you've got sort of the yellow around the toadstool, the blue, and the bit in between is like a greeny blue. So now I'm going to do some stamping with the masked toadstool. Turn this upside down, and I'm going to do top part. Let's line that up. There we go. So that one was the tree den, and then I'm going to do a couple of the tree stem. I'm going to do a first generation and a second generation of these. Always get it down the side. Let's wipe that off first. That's it. Actually, I've got a little bit more on the bottom there. The second generation will go here. Third generation will go there. So now it's time to take off the masking paper. There we go. Now, I'm not unduly worried if you get like at the bottom here, it's got a little bit of white. What I tend to do is get a little paintbrush, a little bit of water, only barely water, and then just fill it in if there's any gaps. That's the only gap, I think, is just a little bit there, so that's fine. Right, so now we're going to stamp Mr. and Mrs. Hedgehog, sorry, Mummy and Baby Hedgehog. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a little bit that was on the side of the hedgehog that I missed. Now I'm carrying on with this because we can't always throw our work away when we make a small mistake. So I'm going to cover that with a toadstool. So I'm going to ink the toadstool. I'm going to have to place it down there. And now it's gone. So you don't have to throw your work away if you make a mistake. It's usually you can save it and make a little adjustment to your original plan. Right, so now I've got the toadstool. Actually, I think I'll do a couple of the toadstools now too. So I'm going to have one here. Let's get that bit off the side. one about here and one there. And now I'm going to add some little flowers. So that's a little group of flowers, and then I'm going to have the little sprigged flowers. I need to tear off a piece of my paper here. I'm going to have some coming up the side of the toadstool there. Flowers, that's quite a few. And Pipin next. I'll have him sitting on the top. Right, before I do the leaves, I'm going to do some colouring. So I'm going to use my watercolour pens here, and I'm going to colour the trees and colour the toadstool. So I'm going to colour the toadstool, the top part I'm going to do red, as you can see here. So I've got red here, and then I'm going to do it in the peachy sort of colour, and the brown, and the trees are going to be brown. So I'll just crack on with that for a moment. And next I'm going to stamp the leaves. I'm going to start stamping the leaves in the yellow colour, which is cheerful, and then I'm going to do it in the green after. And next we're going to colour the flowers with the Posca pens and a little bit of gel pen, and we're going to do the gel pen around the trees. But before I do anything else, I've just noticed there's a little gap that I missed. Put that on there. I'll use my little brush, slightly dampen it. Just brush that away. Right, so I'm going to start colouring the flowers and the trees. go. Now, hopefully, if I lift it up, you may or may not be able to see the shimmer. There's a lovely shimmer on all the flowers and the trees. Quite difficult to catch. Ah, there. Maybe there you can see. Right, so let's stick this together. I chose the yellow for the background because I wanted a contrast from all the greens and blues. I'm just going to place that quite central, like so. I'm just going to use my bone folder thing just to make it nice and flat, because it wasn't very flat. And then we place that quite central. Oh, I've got a bit of glue up the top there. No, I'd have to trim that off. Okay. And there. Now we have it, Pipin's Playground. Hope you found that useful. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't already joined our Facebook groups, please consider joining our 2 Facebook groups. We have Del Bello's Designs Lounge for all products at Lavinia, and we also have Del Bello's a la carte lounge, and that's for all of the other products that are sold at Del Bello's, including cardio stamps, sweet poppy stencils, etc. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Bye bye.